Okay, hey, this is Mark coming to you from Baker's Green Acres, and I'm getting back to you as promised. Today is butchering day, and I'd like to show a little bit of this process. We can't really show any of the nitty-gritty because these platforms, Facebook and YouTube, they don't like anything like that because advertisers, although they like to eat chicken, they don't want to see a chicken die. All right. So, what you're seeing here is one of my best right-hand men loading chickens into the cones. And we are on that was the last one. He just loaded the last chicken. So we did 50 of our own and then probably 100 or so of other people's. It's sort of a service that we provide. Okay? And then what Jim will do, I'll avert the camera at the critical moment. You will not actually see. All right, show the knife. Okay, there's the knife. And he'll just hold the head in one hand and draw that knife across the neck of the bird. And I'll avert at the critical moment. And then that bird will bleed out very, very quickly. And the cone prevents the bird from flapping around. It controls, you know, the feet, so the person doing it doesn't get scratched. A lot of animal rights people probably would like to see that, but you can hear them flopping around, but I can't show it. And it's very, very quick, all right? There's an artery right here that once it's cut, they lose consciousness instantly. Because as soon as they have no blood going to the brain, that's it. They do flop around a little bit, but that's that. And we don't want them to be running around the yard, spreading their blood everywhere, so that's why we put them in the cones. And then, once they have completely expired, that is the trapeze, we call it. And here's what it goes on. It rolls on this rail here. It's a garage door rail. And the trapeze will hold about 10 birds. We usually put on about 8 though. We only have killing positions for 8. So we are reworking that. Everything that I'm showing you has been custom built here. And then we come in this door. So Jim loads them through the door or through the window. And when they come through, they go in this scalder. We dip them down in there. Hopefully he gets them coming through soon. Can you kind of hurry? Hurry, Emil. And once they're dipped down in there, then they go in the plucker. Right? The plucker, I'll show you. It's on. When we're working, it's on the whole time. See, there's a bottom to it, and there's fingers, little rubber fingers on there. Hey, can you reach over and shut that off real quick, Frank? Just so we can see it. All right. And the rubber fingers bounce the chicken around after it's been scalded and defeather it. And then there's a door that's on a timer, and that door will fly open and the chickens come out on this table here where my secretary is doing heads and feet, we call it. And then they go to the next position, which is the evisceration position. They get the cut around their vent hole. And then they go to Frank's position, which is the gutting position. And he pulls the guts out. Then they come into the clean side, it's called. There is actually a method to this. And they go into these totes. I'm calling them totes, but they're really trash barrels. but we get them brand new and we keep them clean. And we fill those with well water, and the well water is down around 48 degrees, 50 degrees, like that. And they'll sit in there for a little while until a lot of the heat comes out of them. Sometimes we will run the water in that barrel, and the heat, the warmer water will come to the top and spill over. So we run a lot of the heat out of it. It's like 1 o'clock-ish in the afternoon, so we're a little behind now, and once all the birds are in here, we can shut the door, turn the air conditioner on, and we can go to lunch. And then we can come back after lunch and do the cleanup. And then these birds from here, they get bagged and tagged, and then they go into the cooler, and we take them down to 38 degrees. And then they're ready for pickup, you know, at 5 in the afternoon. So this operation is something that we've done now. This is our 14th year of doing it, and we plan to continue to do it. And an operation like this enables people that live in the community, the man that was just here came from quite a ways away, to raise their own chickens, and then if they don't want to go to the next step of having to slaughter them themselves, then they can bring them to us. And this is something that that a person can do. It's like a side income on the farm. We do it once a week, and sometimes we do as many as 250 birds in a day. We've done as many as 500 a day. Today there was right around, I don't know, 150, 175 in a pile of turkeys, maybe 10 turkeys, and they're a little harder to do. But it's a nice side income for somebody to do. It's not going to float the farm by any means, but I think one of the things to look at in homesteading is to have many avenues, you know, be diversified. I mean, we talk about in society being diversified, but a lot of times in agriculture, we see people that do just one thing, you know, milk, that's it. We don't have our own chickens, we don't even mow our own lawn. We have someone else do that. We're not going that direction. They can if they want, but we're not going to go that direction. We want to be diverse in all the things we do. So if you know, the vegetables don't pay out this year, we could probably trade processing, chicken processing, for vegetables. If, you know, and you get my drift, that we have a lot of, it gives us options, you know, it gives us options. I don't necessarily have to take dollars for this, you know, this service that I'm providing. I could trade with people, and I have in the past. So those of you that want to use us to process your chickens, tell us what you got. You know, we like to do some trading. We only need so many dollars, and you know, we like to do trading. It's a pretty good thing. Now, in the United States, we have a Constitution. The Fifth Amendment to the Constitution, which is the first part of the Constitution, is the Bill of Rights that every American enjoys. The Fifth Amendment says that your life, liberty, and property are protected under due process of law. All right? Your property is also your process. So this is our process. This is what we do. Right? So this process is protected under the Fifth Amendment. If somebody brings me a chicken and they ask me if I will process it for them, I can process that and give it back to them, and they can take it home and put it in their freezer. No questions. I mean, who's going to question it, all right? Well, our friends at the Department of Agriculture like to question everything, but what they are really into is control. The way they do that is they say, well, if you're going to sell this chicken to a retail store, then we've got to be involved in this process. And how do they do that? They do that by selling a license to the person that you're going to sell it to. And they won't sell a license to him unless he buys stuff from people who also bought a license. So they have a circular little cadre going there, a little cabal going there. But so long as you're not going to sell these birds to a store or a restaurant, then you don't need to worry about that. This is a little function that you could do on the side, and I may be cutting my own throat on this. You know, somebody in my neighborhood will start up a chicken processing business and put me out of business. But I'm here to tell you that every year since we've lived here, there has been somebody that's moved into the neighborhood and said, we'd like to be chicken processors like the Bakers. And they start up a little chicken processing place, and the only way that they can get any attention is to do it cheaper than us. And we have Amish people around here that have a saying, and the saying goes, we can do it cheaper. And that happens every single year that we're here, and they'll usually do it for a year, sometimes 2, and people go to them. But what I'm going to stress in your homesteading operation is whatever you do it well. You know, do a good job of it. So a man that was here today, he says, you know, I took him to this whatever last year up in wherever, and they came back and it was just terrible. They still had feathers on them, and I just was questioning the cleanliness of the place and all that stuff. So that kind of gets around. And he says to me today, he just wrote me a check for quite a bit for the chickens that we did for him. And he says, if you're still here next year, I'll be back. And I appreciated that, you know, because we did a good job. This isn't easy. None of the things in homesteading are easy. None of the things any place is easy. Even if you sit behind a computer all day, that to me would be a lot harder than doing this. Nothing's easy, but doing it well takes perseverance. And Jim was my killer right at the end of the day, and he was losing steam and he was getting irritated. And I said, man, this isn't easy to do this, but you're going to make it. This isn't easy, but you will make it. And it kind of pushed him over, you know. And then we're going to get sub sandwiches for lunch, so everybody likes that. All right, so I thought I'd show this, and day in the life. It's something to think about. It's Mark from Baker's Green Acres. Talk to you tomorrow.